spilled my chair, oh no. Good thing I can sit down without a problem. It's practical. It's practical. Did you just see me sitting? Did you just see me dancing? What more can you need to do in an outfit like this? You think this is a good mechanical bull riding outfit? Because I still need to cross that off my year goal. One of my goals for the year. Ride a mechanical bull. I feel like this is a good outfit for that. Dokie. So I randomly acquired, I don't know, I didn't count, at least 100 cat pins. And I also like to save and flip all of my old clothes. So in this video, combined the two, and I filmed myself making this outfit. And here it is. So I'm going to be talking about the explanation, the story behind these cat pins and this outfit while I show you how I made this outfit. Okay, let's jump right in. Before we begin, I did in fact dye these pieces of clothing. This is what it looked like before, and I dyed them black. As you can tell in the video, because they are absolutely black, not. Also washed the cat pins before doing this, so they're clean, all good. I didn't film that process because it was a mess. It was a complete disaster. I actually dyed everything at the same time because I had other things I wanted to dye. So I had 4 different buckets of colored dye, and I accidentally dyed an entire load of laundry lavender. So if you see me in some lavender clothing, it's because I accidentally dyed everything I own lavender. Anyway, let's get into the video. Let's get into it. So I actually started with the cats, and the base of the cats are made out of fabric scraps as well. So I keep all of the clothes that oh my gosh, I just realized I'm wearing this like hideous outfit. I wore a lot of hideous outfits in this video. You know when you're working and you get hot or you get cold and then you just like slowly change your outfit into the most random thing ever? That's what happened a lot of times in this video. Anyway, I save all my old fabrics, my clothing, my scraps, my mom's stuff, just anything that I can use as materials to make new things. So I kind of just took this coloring page and kind of made a cat out of that coloring like it was a coloring page of a cat, and I kind of just used it as a guide to make my own pieces. And I just used my free motion embroidery foot, I think that's what it's called, and just went ham on these cat pieces. And then I put the cats onto a pair of like squiggly jeans. I used the other side because I needed some structure to these cats because they were a little flimsy. And I just added eyes and whiskers and nose, claws, you know, cat stuff, things that you would find on a cat. And I just used the free motion embroidery foot to do most of this. I'm editing this and I realize my fingernails look disgusting. That's dye. That's dye from when I was dyeing all that stuff. In my arms when they're covered in purple and black and different things, that's dye, not dirt. I just wanted to say that because it looks like dirt. I know it looks like I have nasty fingernails. It's just dye, I promise you. I did in fact mess up a couple of times and have to completely seam rip all this stuff out, but I just kept doing that over and over and over. And as you can see, there are 2 cats. So one's gonna go on the top of the bodysuit, and then one's going on the back of the skirt, because I knew I wanted to be able to sit in the skirt, and I knew I would not be able to sit on a bunch of pins. So I came up with the idea of adding these little cat patches and then doing this claw kind of technique situation that I ended up doing. But I started with the top, I finished the cats, added the cat to the top, and then I started working on the claws. So to do the claws, I just penciled out claw shapes, and then I put fabric underneath the top and then sewed around the the pencil marks, which the pencils you can kind of see now, but it'll wash away with some water. I just didn't end up doing that. But then I cut the bodysuit fabric so you could just see the red fabric underneath. And then I kind of, which you'll see, literally started clawing at it to give it that like messed up, kind of like the fabric was actually torn and ripped apart with actual claws. And I just kind of went at it, and I did that also for the skirt. Now, as you can see, there are two cats. These two cats actually mean something. So when I was about like 12, at my dad's house, we actually got these two cats. Their names are Statue and Boo. One was a long-haired black cat and one was a short-haired black cat, and they were so beautiful. So Boo was the long-haired cat, and so to replicate that kind of look, I used the needle and I went onto the white. And then for the short-haired cat, I didn't, to kind of distinguish the two in a way that only I would know, or anyone that knew those cats would know. But oh, I also had to make some alterations to the skirt. But those cats both had, we didn't know when we got them, we found out literally right when we got them, they had feline leukemia. And Statue liked to hide behind the toilet, and he unfortunately died. There was like a hole behind the toilet. I don't know if you know this, but some toilets have like holes in the back of them where cats can hide. And then because Statue died, Boo was extremely sad and then passed away as well. So unfortunate ending to the cats, but I just had a memory of them, and as I was working and looking for fabric to make the cats, I decided to make Statue and Boo and kind of take me back and remember this memory. Wow. But yeah, that's the story behind the cats. So now you know Statue and Boo, and anyone that knows Statue and Boo, I feel like they would, I don't know, now I'm getting kind of sad over Statue and Boo being dead. They're in a better place. So on the back of the top and the back of the skirt, I decided to add some more claw marks. So there's two sets on the top and on the skirt. So I'm just working away at it on the skirt as well. And I don't know, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. This is probably a better angle to see how I'm making the claw marks, because I'm just sewing back and forth, and then I just tie off the thread to make sure it doesn't come apart when I cut the fabric. And then I just cut away all the excess. I knew the cat pins would make a lot of bulk, so I cut as much of that red fabric off as I could, and then I just started cutting away at the skirt and fraying it. Oh, and I also attached the cats, and I lined up the cats to the claw marks, so it looks like the cats were making the claw marks. And then I added claws, kind of attaching them. I had one wonky claw, but it worked. Okay, so I was going to do this outside, but apparently there's a tornado happening. I don't know, show must go on. So I'm in my basement to add, this is blood, handmade by me, and I'm going to add it to the scratches, the wounds, the claws. Less of kitty cat, more fierce killer vibe. So I am laying on the floor of my basement. Show must go on. I've got things to do. I have this red dye that, if you don't know, I love a good advent calendar. And so every year I try to find unique advent calendars. And so I found a Science Kit advent calendar. I don't even remember what the experiment was, but it had dye. And so I'm gonna use the red dye to kind of blend in this bloody scar situation. I've got my top, the skirt's over here on an old ripped up Old Navy bag, so there's not a what looks like blood stain in the basement, just as a precaution. But I'm just going to be laying on the basement floor painting blood. Anyway, the story behind the cats as I'm pinning them on, this took forever, by the way, and my camera did end up dying, but I just made sure they were all good, fixed. Some of them were broken, some of them needed to be glued back together, and I pulled the lining from the skirt so that I wouldn't stab myself. And you can see I have pink little pieces of tape all over my fingers because I didn't want to stab myself and end up bleeding all over the skirt, although that kind of would fit with the theme. Anyway, how I acquired these cat pins. So I used to volunteer at a senior center. I stopped because I would literally come home from volunteering crying because they were so mean. Anyway, there was this lady and she was telling the story how she had this boyfriend, and every single month this boyfriend would get her a different cat pin from a different place. She loved cats and she loved cat pins, and she had hundreds and hundreds of cat pins. Now, unfortunately, although she didn't seem too butthurt about it, the boyfriend died, and she still had the cat pins and she didn't want them anymore. So she still had tons and tons of them, but she gave probably about 100 of them to me. And this was probably 2 years ago at this point, and I didn't know what to do with the cat pins. I wanted to find a creative way other than just, I don't know, sticking them on a jacket or something. So I thought the combination of the cat patches with the claws and then the cat pins would be a good way to utilize the cat pins in a way that was a little more creative and a little more fun. And I was really just throwing them on wherever they would fit. This took forever. I also made a little necklace out of one of the pins as well, but it took freaking forever, and I kind of just put as many as I could onto the front and then made it kind of cascading to the back in a way that I could sit. I love a practical piece. I do love a creative piece, but I do want it to be practical, and to be practical meant I needed to sit in this outfit. I needed to be able to sit, because if I were to go anywhere in this outfit, I would have to get in the car and be able to sit. So that was really important for me to be able to sit in this freaking outfit. But I just put cat pins, and then my camera dies. And that's pretty much it. And would you believe me if I told you I'm allergic to cats? This is sick. And they're all staying on. I only lost one. Like, I could go to the club. Wait, the test though? Can I sit down? Can I sit down? Oh, easy. I just got stabbed. Just a smidgen. No, more than a smidgen. More than a smidgen. Oh, I see the problem. I see the problem. We're good. We're good. We're good. I got stabbed because the end of this one is so long that it's sticking out, and it ended out the bottom. But I'm sitting. It's working. I mean, may not seem practical, but this is actually really comfortable. You know what the crazy thing is? The most uncomfortable part about this outfit, I'm being stabbed in one place, right here. The tag. I have this entire outfit on, and it's the damn tag that is into my side. Seriously? Also, I made this little necklace. Hello Kitty necklace, look. Wait. It's a clock. What? Almost fell into my chair, oh no. Good thing I can sit down without a problem. Okay, where do I wear this? Where do I wear this? I'm gonna find somewhere. You're gonna see, if you see a girl out in the streets in a bunch of cat pins, it's me, because I found a place to go. Should I go to Barnes? Do you think this is an acceptable drive-through outfit? Is this not backwards? I feel like it is. No, that was backwards. Ooh, wait. Ooh. Anyway, I hope you had fun watching this. It's so random, but I feel like it's so me. Just love to create. We don't always have to sew. We don't always have to read. We don't always have to crochet. There is creative things to do out there in the world. You just have to find them. If you're not scared off, there's more coming. I already have other wild adventure videos. Here's another one. I hope you have the best day ever and your coffee tastes like magic. Bye. Oh my gosh, my hair. Was it like that whole time? Maybe because this doesn't freaking fit on my head.